going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. It's week 10 of fantasy football, and that means it's crunch time. You have to get some W's and secure a playoff spot for your team. Make sure you guys check out our new, very popular column called Fantasy Woes, where we have fantasy problems, disappointments, and fails for each week. My personal fantasy woe was that I started Alex Smith. I looked at the matchup. It was super sweet, but it killed me. But not really, because I started Andre Johnson, and that saved me. I got that W for week 9. Alright, let's go into the waivers. As you all expected, Nick Foles is the number 1 quarterback to pick up this week. I think Case Keenum is the real deal. I like him as a long-term pickup for your backup quarterback. Josh McCown is not a terrible pickup. I expect Jay Cutler to be back by week 11, so he is a decent short-term pickup. It's not a big shock to us that Darren McFadden is injured yet again. Run DMC could miss multiple games, and this makes Rashad Jennings one of the hottest waiver pickups this week. The Green Bay Packers have a pretty good 1-2 punch with Lacy and Starks, and with Aaron Rodgers out there, they just might run the ball a little bit more, so he's my number 3 running back pickup this week. Andre Brown could be coming back this week, and the Giants face the Raiders. Running backs are hard to come by, so he's a good pickup. Monte Ball might be the primary backup to Noshawn Moreno, and he also could get some goal line carries. Even though the Patriots are on bye, Shane Vereen could be back as soon as week 11. He's definitely worth a stash. And make sure to monitor any news on Doug Martin and Arian Foster throughout the week and see how their injuries are doing. Most of these wide receivers I mentioned in previous videos. If you're thinking about picking up a Saints wide receiver, make sure you check up on the status of Marquise Colston. See if his injury is going to sideline him this week. All 3 of these tight ends have good matchups this week. If you need a backup tight end, I'd go with Timothy Wright. I see him being a good short-term and long-term pickup. I have a super sleeper defense this week, the Washington Redskins. If you're in a deep league, consider picking them up. As long as the Redskins offense doesn't turn the ball over, they'll put their defense in a decent position. Decent enough for you to maybe get that 1 week that you need out of them and start them in your league. And let's wrap up the waiver list with the most inconsistent position in fantasy football, the kicker. I'm really confident this week in my top 3 kickers, Novak, Gould, and Vinatieri. Look at those guys if you need a kicker. Now let's go to our Twitter and see what questions we have this week. Our first question, Brady, Rivers, or Luck? Who would you rather own the rest of the year? I asked some of the fellows on Fantasy Couch to see what they thought and who they would pick out of those 3 guys for the rest of the season. 3 of us voted for Rivers, and 2 of us, including me, voted for Brady. I think if Gronk stays healthy, you got to go with Brady here. It's really close between those 3. With Reggie Wayne out, I can't pick Luck, but I'm going to go with Brady and take a risk. I think he'll be really good as long as Gronk is healthy. And the next question. Romo is my starter. I have RG3 on the bench. Should I drop Griffin and add Foles or maybe Cutler? Go ahead and hold on to RG3. Start Romo every week. Now Dallas has a bye week, week 11. In that week, RG3 goes up against the Eagles. I feel really confident in starting RG3 that game. So go ahead and hold on to him. And don't be afraid to start him week 11. And our final question. Colston or Shorts for the rest of the season, non-PPR? Even though I really want to see how Colston does against Dallas this week, I'm going to go with Shorts. The Jacksonville Jaguars are always behind, and they're always going to be throwing the ball. Cecil Shorts will have plenty of opportunities in garbage time, so definitely go with Shorts. That's all the time we have this week. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay on top of your fantasy football. And please check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Fantasy Couch. And don't forget about Fantasy Woes. Go to fantasycouch.com and check out that column. I'll see you guys next week.